triple if it can take so long sometimes?
Well, triple, there's a lot more interesting routing that goes on. Because if you're just doing one single line, you can wind up with rows or columns that can be really short and easy to complete. But when you have to finish 3, you gotta take a lot more into account, figuring out which rows kind of overlap well with each other. And if you're good at it, completing 3 lines actually doesn't take too much longer than completing 1 line.
Mm-hmm. I believe the fastest time we've seen in this tournament so far was 47 minutes, and you were like 12 seconds behind that on the same card.
Yeah, that board was crazy.
Yeah, and
that's the kind of what you'll see on really good boards. You'll see some runners be able to finish in under 50 minutes, but I'd say that for the most part, you're going to see people finish anywhere between like 50 minutes and an hour 10, just based on skill level and any given board, because all boards are different, so some are definitely going to take longer than others. But there's nothing too notable that you're going to see them do in Cap Kingdom here. They just got to get out of here to progress the story. The only thing they'll probably do is grab the checkpoint at the top of the tower. Because if they have to come back to Cap for any reason, usually having that checkpoint is a good idea.
So what do you think of this card, just looking at it?
So, things that pop out to me. Actually, there's not anything on here that's too crazy hard, I don't think. 5 multi-moons isn't bad, because if you're doing like an any % route, you're going to get 1 from Cascade automatically, you're usually going to get 1 from Lake, you're usually going to get 1 from Wooded.
You're usually going to get 1 from Metro.
Yeah, so that's 4 right there. So you really only have to get 1 extra, as opposed to what you would normally do. So that goal actually isn't bad.
One thing I like is we have a pretty easy goal in the middle.
Yeah. That
20 captures is a goal you can easily meet in like Wooded or Lost.
For sure. And that makes routing the board a lot nicer, because having those diagonals as options, because when you have something really slow in that center square, it kind of puts 4 options out of commission. You got a column, a row, and 2 diagonals. As opposed to any other square being bad, you can kind of, for the most part, only ignore 2 options for routing. So a bad center square can make a board really annoying to complete. But yeah, like you said, luckily they have a pretty free one. As long as you're paying somewhat close attention to what you're doing, you should be able to get 20 captures no problem.
Yeah.
And so Admi's going for regional points here, so we can safely assume that he's going for... Actually, where is that going?
It's row 2, column 2.
Okay, so it's 45 regionals in Cascade.
A lot of regionals.
It is a lot.
All but 5.
There's only 50 total in the kingdom, so getting 45 is quite a lot.
But fortunately, it is a small kingdom.
Right, it's very compact, so getting 45 here is much quicker than getting 45 in really any other kingdom.
Absolutely.
And another thing to note is that clipping is banned for this tournament. I don't know if these guys agreed on something else. Like, they're banned by default, but the runners can kind of agree to allow them if they both want to. So most likely I would say they probably just left them banned, but I guess we'll see. I don't think there's too much use for them on this board anyway.
I don't know.
Because there's no World Peace and Sand Gold or anything like that.
There's 2 Jaxi goals.
Call Jaxi for 2 and 3 stands. Those are pretty quick. So that might be a good option for them to try to route in those 2 goals. And that's kind of what you want to do. You want to take goals like that are very similar and try to have them both in your route. That way you're kind of, it's kind of a 2-for-1 package. on average makes those goals much faster.
So looking at this card, Omni, with getting all the regionals he's getting, I think if Omni's going for that 45 regionals and Cascade goal, I think he might be going for top left, bottom right.
Yeah, that is one that is looking pretty good, honestly. The only thing, okay, so
why is picture match in every bingo ever?
Yeah, I don't know. It actually does come up quite often, but I like it. I like going for that goal. I think it's a pretty underrated goal.
Do you make it smile or do you go for 4-piece?
I go for 4-piece. I could make it smile, but maybe if I know I'm really far ahead and I'm gonna win, and that's like the last thing I'm doing, then I could give the people a little smiling Goomba.
I mean, I don't usually watch the restream, so I can't tell if I'm ahead enough to do it.
Yeah, I try not, for any percent I actually listened to the commentary as I was racing in that tournament, but for bingo I need a little bit more focus because I have to be keeping track of all of my goals, making sure I'm actually completing everything appropriately. So I tend to not pay as close attention for bingo matches, but I still kind of keep it in the, in the corner of my eye. I try to look at it at least a couple times throughout the race, just to see where I stand. So Spike going for this Captain Toad. I didn't see, yeah, there is 4 Captain Toad moons as a goal in that center column.
Oh, jeez. There's 4 Captain Toads, and I saw him get a timer challenge, which makes me realize row 4.
Row 4, I'm actually not a huge fan of.
The sub areas can kind of not be the greatest, but
yeah, 10 sub areas isn't too bad. Thing that purchasing 5 costume sets actually probably scares me a little more.
Probably. I mean, it can be quite a few coins, but in most kingdoms, it's usually like 15 regionals, which isn't the worst thing. You might have to head to the shop at the end of the kingdom before you plan to leave, but like,
the only thing that concerns me there is there's not a ton of regional coin. Well, I guess there are actually. There are a bunch of regional coin goals, so if you can fit the costumes with a bunch of the regional coin goals, then it's a pretty good thing to go for, I would say.
Mm-hmm. And you do need 3 bingos, so
yeah, actually, it'll be interesting. This board has a lot of good stuff on it, so curious to see the approach they decide to take. This board kind of has the opposite problem of what most boards have. It has too much good stuff, too many fast goals.
We already have some predictions from J-Hobbs in chat, which I love seeing early game predictions because it's just like taking a wild shot in the dark. It's like throwing spaghetti at a wall and hoping it sticks.
For sure.
That's one reason I like this tournament, and I'm very glad a lot of other people have been liking this tournament, is because it can just, so much can happen in terms of what you think is going to happen, that it's just kind of like, okay, and just becomes really surprising and interesting out of like seemingly nowhere.
And you tend to not really know with the approach that runners are going to take until we get to about Wooded Kingdom. Then you can kind of make some really good, like, educated guesses on which rows they're going for, which all the more fun. I like guessing and just kind of looking and seeing what I would do in this situation, because there's a lot of different approaches that you can take with bingo sometimes, and some of them might not even be necessarily objectively better than the other. It's just different runners tend to have different preferences as to what goals they like to go for. I think everyone kind of leans toward just particular goals depending on what they're most familiar in the game with.
Yeah, so Omni's just heading out of there with the regional coins, not getting sub-area moons. But just regional coins in and out. Spike got all the regional coins around the village. Interesting. Collecting regional coins, but I didn't see the thingies. I didn't see any regional coin goals for sand, if I recall.
Yeah, it doesn't look like there is any.
I think if my row 4 prediction is right, he might be trying to get both of the costume sets here. If row 4 is what he's actually doing,
He could be doing that, or he could also be looking to get souvenirs in Sand Kingdom because there is a
there are
purchase
souvenirs
goal. So the souvenirs in each kingdom, there's 2 of them in every kingdom, and they cost 5 and 25 regional coins, respectively. So if he gets 30 coins, that might be what he's going for.
Maybe.
And Oddme's going to purchase that 1 souvenir for 5 coins. So the other thing you might be looking to do is purchasing 4 souvenirs from 4 different kingdoms, because that way he only needs 5 coins from each kingdom he wants to get a souvenir from, as opposed to getting 30 in any given kingdom.
Spike seems to be going a more... Oh, that was a nice jump. So, Oddme might be going for row 2 if he's doing both souvenirs and regionals, you think? Because that one's not too bad.
Yeah, it's possible.
I would have expected him to get that 8-bit in the sub area, but
yeah,
if he was doing that, so I don't know.
Actually, he did get that one, the 8-bit sub area, didn't he?
I don't remember.
I saw one of them in that room. I think it was Oddme, because he was also picking up coins there. Yeah, I think he did that room, and if he goes for the tower here, that would be a good sign of that as well, because that's a very quick 2D moon. So yeah, if he goes for the tower, then I'd say he's probably going for row 2. And he tried the cool kid strat, but couldn't quite execute on it.
Looks like Spike going for moon shards.
Interesting. So he might be going for that 6 moon shards goal, which personally I think is a bad goal, frankly. I used to go for
the amount of moon shards.
It certainly depends. There are some situations where it's a really good goal, but on this
like
board,
6 moonshard moons?
The only thing it kind of matches, 6 is where it gets kind of rough, because the only thing that it matches up with is sub areas, because a lot of shard moons are inside sub areas. So if you have to get a lot of sub areas, then it can be good for that, like sub areas in Metro, because there's 3 sub areas that have moon shards in Metro. So if you need to get like 6 or 8 sub area moons, then it can be good. But I think the only sub area goals we have on here is 10.
Are in row 4. All I'm saying is row 4 is happening.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. The only thing about that is I think they probably have ways to complete this board without going to snow or seaside, which makes timer challenges kind of tough. You can do it without going to snow or seaside, but you would have to backtrack to cap. I believe either that or get world peace in sand for Metro, because getting world peace unlocks a lot of timer challenges depending on the kingdom you're in.
J-Homp's talking about maybe going for the multi-moon if he's going for 22 moons here. I can actually see 22 moons being a reasonable goal, but I would not think anyone would go to the inverted pyramid showdown for a multi-moon. 22 moons isn't that desperate of a route that you need that.
Yeah, it's definitely doable, because you get 16 in the any percent route of Sand Kingdom, so adding 6 moons to that is not too crazy without getting the multi-moon. You can do that all just fine, but Oddme's going for these shards too, so it does make me wonder if it's to unlock the pyramid or if it's for the moon shard goal or both. It could really go either way, so we'll just have to wait and see if either of these guys head towards the pyramid.
Yeah. It does look like Spike wants to clear out sub areas right now heading to this one.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, like I said, if he's going for a moon shard goal, then he doesn't have to get all these sub areas here, because he'd be better off getting them in Cap or Metro. Those kingdoms are both loaded with moon shard
absolutely
sub areas. And Spike is getting a lot of coins here, so another thing he might be going for is 125 total regionals.
I mean,
either that, or he's looking to buy an outfit and a souvenir.
maybe, yeah. I know it might be getting annoying with this, but those regionals might line up well if he wants to purchase a few costumes.
Yeah, for sure.
In row 4. Oh, jeez.
We really like row 4.
It's not a bad row, okay?
It's not terrible.
No, but
I think timer challenges tends to scare people off, though.
yeah, maybe.
I don't think it's too crazy of a goal, but it's just a lot to remember and a lot to keep track of. Omni coming into this sub area for I'm not sure what purpose. So most sub areas in the game you get 2 moons from, but this is one of the few that only has 1 moon. So if he's coming in here for sub area purposes, it's not the best place.
Yeah. Especially when all 3 of them probably have a better concentration of multis as well. Going for the coin stack though.
The coin stack is interesting. And some outfits are purchased with regional coins, but there's also a bunch that you can purchase with yellow coins. So you might be stocking up on coins to potentially get costumes later as well. I think that's about the only thing that yellow coins would be good for on this board.
I think he might have tried to route this one in to also just try to get to Jaxie as soon as possible because there's 2 and 3 stand goals. Because he's talking to Jaxie.
Yeah.
Spike's in the pyramid.
Spike is in the pyramid, so he either wants the multi-moon or he wants some coins, or probably the multi-moon, I would guess.
I'm imagining though he's still gonna grab the 8-bit.
Yeah,
There's
the
an
8-bit
8-bit
as
here.
well. Yep, he's gonna round this corner and grab
okay.
the 8-bit moon.
I thought that was a regional path for some reason.
Jack, gonna call from another Jaxie stand here. That would be 2 stands for Oddme, I think. Let's see, already confirmed.
If you'd excuse me for a moment, I have to...
So yeah, it looks like Spike just coming in here for the multi-moon. I would imagine he's probably gonna wrap up Sand Kingdom after grabbing this multi-moon. He might head to the shop to buy some stuff if he's trying to get those outfits or souvenirs. But this will probably be the last moon that he grabs in Sand Kingdom. So there's actually a lot of stuff that could be done in sand on this board. 22 moons in sand. Spike actually could still be going for that. I'm not because this will put him at 18, so he would only need to get 4 more, but I'm not sure because he did overshoot the minimum amount of moons he needed, so that was either just a miscalculation or he's going for 22 and he's going to pick up a few more once he gets transported back to the Odyssey here.
And he's collecting more of the regionals in town.
Yeah, I didn't see how many regionals he's up to now. So yeah, Spike is set up to get 5 multi-moons. If he gets the multis in Lake and Wooded that people usually get, just because they're fast moons to grab. If he gets those, then he'll be on track for an easy 5 multi-moons. I mean, warping back up to the tower, having that checkpoint is kind of good in sand sometimes because it's a nice central location. You can get to anywhere in the kingdom pretty fast from that high up checkpoint. So it's kind of an advantage of going up there and grabbing it at the beginning. I'll be coming over here for the coins. And thinks about jumping across that gap and decides better of it. Spike actually entering this deep underground area, so he might be looking to get yet another multi-moon in Sand Kingdom. Perhaps thinking of skipping the one in either Wooded or Lake. Or maybe he has a route that finishes in Wooded and allows him to skip Metro. That's maybe possible. I haven't combed this
That sounds awesome,
thoroughly
but it
enough.
would rule out row 4, so I'm sorry, but it's not allowed. No.
Well, it wouldn't completely rule it out, but pretty much would. So yeah, Spike is, I guess he is going for the 22 moons in sand as well, because he's at,
But
oh, he's at 18 now. This multi-moon would get him 21. Not sure why he didn't grab that chest moon though.
yeah, kind of weird. On me buying some stuff. Didn't quite catch it.
Oh yeah, what did he buy? He bought a moon. Did he buy something else? With the regional coins?
Bought souvenirs, it looks like.
Oh, okay. So yeah, that row 2 is looking likely. Or no, he didn't get 22 moons, did he? So not row 2. So possibly, if he's not going for row 2, then he would be going for column 3. Because he did get moon shards here, he bought the 2 souvenirs. And as we said, the captures is a pretty easy goal. And he did get Captain Toad in Cascade, so pretty likely that Oddme's going for column 3.
Mm-hmm. For Ami, I did see some kind of like captures for the sake of captures.
Yeah, so maybe looking to round that out early. I don't think Spike has purchased a moon yet.
That might be why he skipped the treasure chest. Yeah, J-Hobbs is
could
right.
be.
22nd might be purchased.
So Ami coming back to Cascade to utilize those regional points that he already picked up to buy these 2 souvenirs.
Yep, that's 4 for Oddme.
So that shop is only available upon revisit. And so that's why he had to come back here rather than buying this moon and getting the souvenirs on the first trip. So
I'm gonna be honest, it's been a long time since I've seen a world peace sand.
yeah, I think more people are starting to utilize it in bingo though. Okay, so Spike's gonna come over and get the notes moon, it looks like, for his 22nd moon. There is there a note moon? Yeah, there's a music note goal in the top left, 4 of them, so this is 1. So he's probably...
Oddme taking a cap visit.
So he might be getting a timer challenge here, and or he's gonna purchase the moon, I suppose.
Purchase moon. Go for timer challenge. Go for some sub areas with moon shards.
Yeah,
What
it could
do you
be
think
any of
you
that
could do?
stuff. Yeah, there's a sub area over here that has moon shards in it. And there's actually is there 2 more? There's either 1 or 2 more moon shard sub areas in Cap.
Cap has 2, I believe.
2, okay. I knew it was either 2 or 3.
It has frog and then poison paragoombas.
Right.
Also, I saw some costume buying from Spike there.
Costume buying in sand. Okay. So yeah, I guess that's what he wanted regionals for. The costume.
And according to someone in chat, Spike says he usually runs sand heavy, which can be a good strategy depending on the card, but with this card I'm kind of iffy on sand heavy.
I'm not a huge fan of sand heavy, just because everything's so spread out.
Yeah, the
I feel
problem
like,
is some of the quicker kingdoms could be way later in the game than you want them to be.
yeah, I feel like a lot of the... Oh, Admi also going to pick up another Captain Toad while he's in cap. That's a good decision, and that's where the kind of thing where grabbing that checkpoint at the start can really help you out. So you warped up to this checkpoint and was able to get that moon, as well as it's like
Now he's
maybe
gonna
in a
go to the
sub area.
Paragon room.
Yeah, so here's the other shard moon. So grabbing that checkpoint allowed him to get quickly back up to get Captain Toad and another shard moon. So yeah, that's the kind of thing that you should always grab that checkpoint, no matter what. It's basically right in your way.
And Spike going for more timer challenges.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's the other advantage of getting World Peace and Sand on this board is it unlocks 3 timer challenges. So it allows you to potentially finish timer challenges much earlier than you would otherwise need to. So that might suggest that he's found a way to complete the board before Metro.
Possibly. I mean, I think we've gotten to the point with music notes, multi-moons, timer challenges that column 1 is happening for Spike.
Yeah, for sure. I would say so. So there's the second timer challenge right here, and then the third one is, I think, by Jaxia Ruins. Yeah.
Yeah. I know which one you're talking about.
Oh, and Spike takes a death. I don't know where he's going to end up there. I didn't see if he hit any checkpoints or anything.
I don't know, but in World Peace Sand,
Oh, okay. That's not
there
too
are the electric pylons that let you kind of travel around a lot of places really quickly. And Omni's into Lake.
So he's going to go for the music note moon right away. I would say Admi's probably going for the top left to bottom right diagonal. Because he didn't get the 22 moons in sand, so he's not going for row 2.
Oh, yeah.
But he did mark that 45 regionals and Cascade goals, so either that or column 2.
I think column 3, column 4, top left, bottom right could be a possibility.
It could be, yeah. So yeah, this is the kind of board, sometimes it winds up that you only have like 1 or 2 goals completed, even like 30, 40 minutes in. And then you wind up finishing everything all in like 1 kingdom. Because some goals are very explicit and it's just complete this thing in this particular kingdom. But there's a lot of stuff on this board that is multi-kingdom goals. So like the 7 timer challenges, you need to get them spread out over many kingdoms. 4 moons from music notes, 6 moon shards, stuff like that. Sometimes it winds up being that you finish, 6 or 7 goals all in 1 kingdom, like Metro or Seaside or Snow, one of the later kingdoms. So it might look like you're not really making much progress, but we'll probably see from both these guys actually 1 kingdom that they kind of clean up in.
Now, this moon that Omni's going for is powerful, because not only is it fairly quick, but it's also an 8-bit and a music note moon in one.
Yeah, so stuff like that is really helpful. Anytime that you can, get that crossover, get those moons that count for 2 different goals at the same time, really helps you out. So yeah, I think they're both going for that shard gold, which means they definitely at least have to go to Metro, I believe, because they can get. Admi got 2 in cap and 1 in sand, so he can get 1 in wooded, he can get 1 in lake, and he could get 1 in lost, but some of those are slower than the Metro ones. So I'd say they probably have to go to Metro. Like, not too many boards allow you to skip out on Metro entirely.
I honestly have no idea what's going to be happening. This is an interesting. The plays so far have been really just interesting on both sides. I have no clue.
Yeah, it's still kind of impossible to say what they're going for. we'll probably start to get a pretty good idea. Like I said, by the time they finish Wooded, you generally have a pretty good idea.
Yeah.
What they might be going for.
Because a lot of people don't want to do a lot of post-Wooded stuff. Because the thing you might not think about off the top of your head, there's a lot of not too much stuff to do between Wooded and Daytime Metro.
Yeah.
Because you may think like, oh, okay, but then you also have to do Cloud, and you also have to do Lost, which can be pretty alright. But then you have Night Metro.
Yes, it's kind of like 10 minutes of just like filler content in the middle of Bingo. So if you can, boards that you can finish in Wooded are really special. Those are the ones that wind up being super fast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd say Spike is definitely doing column 1. Row 4. Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me either.
Column 1 and row 4 are nice. Kinda. I'm kind of iffy on them, but I'm starting to not like row 4 as much as I did at the beginning.
So column 1, column 3, and row 4 might be a thing.
Yeah.
That Spike is going for.
Definitely. I don't understand why it would take such a good kind of set of goals and just throw a seaside wrench into it. 30 regionals in seaside.
So I think they're both heading to Lake Kingdom now. Or Ami just finished Lake Kingdom. He's heading to Wooded.
Mm-hmm.
That's the other crazy thing with Bingo is it's hard to tell who's even in the lead. The only thing you can really say now is Omni has 3 goals and Spike has only completed 1, but that's not really a good representation of who's winning. And sometimes,
yeah, because Omni has done a lot less
runner
earlier
could be
game.
that you could be 2 or 3 kingdoms ahead in some cases and still not even technically be winning. It all just depends on where you place the bulk of your goal gathering and goal completion. Sometimes you can complete most of your stuff in Wooded. Sometimes you have a lot of stuff that you need to complete in Metro. So it doesn't really come into focus until much later.
Yeah.
For you to know who's actually in the lead. So I'd be taking a little trip to the deep woods. Could be. So there's a bunch of captures down here, as well as regional coins. Beyond that, there's also a timer challenge down here. So if you're going for timer challenges, coming to the deep woods is a pretty good idea. The deep woods is actually kind of stacked for Bingo.
It is.
Because there's ground pound
cool
moves.
About capturing the cactus and sand in the tree in the deep woods, and that's one of my favorites.
Yeah, I love that goal. Yeah, you see you got a bunch of regional coins down here. You've got 3 captures that you really otherwise can't get in any other kingdom for Bingo. And you have a timer challenge. It looks like he's not going for the timer challenge. So it looks like he just wanted a couple captures and regional points, which is not a terrible play. As long as you know how to navigate the deep woods, it can be really helpful for you. There's just a bit of a learning curve and learning how to navigate around without a map, really. You just have to know where you're going and know where everything is located down there and how to quickly get out.
I feel like with the Bingo I've played, I realize I hate every single card I've ever seen.
I mean, there always tends to be like 1 or 2 really annoying things on boards. I've definitely found boards that I really liked, though.
I think it was when I was talking to, it might have been you who commentated my last race. Yeah, it was. I think we talked about there can be some shining row just spoiled by 1 goal on it.
Oh yeah, that happens all the time. And
because
it's kind of intended that way, because the Bingo's balanced around.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and for a little bit of context in that, because it can kind of relate here, I had a goal that I finished, every goal except for 1, before I had to go to Cloud, but I had to go to Metro for captures. But it seems like a similar setup might be doing here, because we've been talking about finishing before Cloud possibly, or before Metro, but there's a ton of seasides, there's snows in the way.
Yeah. Yeah, it is like balanced that way, because no given row or column or diagonal is supposed to be too hard or too easy. So when you have like 4 really easy goals, like chances are you're going to have like a really slow one.
80,000 regionals in luncheon. Good luck.
So yeah, I'd say Oddme's probably going for 60 regionals in Wooded, because going to the Deep Woods just for the coins would suggest that, because you can get 60 without going Deep Woods, but it makes it a lot easier.
He picked up the 25 goal.
Oh, he did. So maybe he's just getting 25.
I would think so, because he got 25 from a group of 4 where he didn't pick up the 4th coin, and in 60 regionals, you don't want to skip a single coin.
That's true. So, yeah,
not getting those. Yeah, no. He's going 25 only.
Yeah, it doesn't look like any of his other stuff matches up with where the 60 regional coins and what it is located on the board either. So I think it's probably safe to say that he's gonna stop his coin collecting there for this kingdom. I think the better play for buying costumes tends to be buying at least like 3 or 4 of them with regional coins as opposed to yellow coins. I
usually buy like 1 or 2 maybe if I'm feeling.
If you're going for
rich.
7 costumes as a goal, you definitely want to get at least 3 from regionals, I would say, because most of the yellow coin outfits cost 200 coins. So if you need to get like 5+ outfits, that's going to cost you 1,000 coins, which is doable, but you also have to wait really long to unlock that many yellow coin costumes. 7 moons from 8-bit is not too crazy of a goal, but I think it is pushing the upper limits of how many there are.
Definitely.
The route. So Spike can actually get his 5th multi-moon in this kingdom.
Yeah, with the fight against Stewart that Oddme is coming up on.
Spike going for some regional coins as well, so we'll see what he decides to do with those. Could be looking to buy souvenirs, or he could be going for the 25 gold, like Oddme did.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are talking about row 1.
Row 1. Yeah.
With what Spike's done, it's probably likely.
Because Spike has gotten quite a bit of regional coins so far, so it wouldn't surprise me too much, and he's also done a lot of moon shard stuff. So going for 125 total regionals would not surprise me. And he's also gotten music note moons. So yeah, row 1 is definitely a possibility. A strong possibility. Yeah, Spike did get Peace and Sand. Yeah, I don't think Oddme is going for row 2, because he hasn't really focused on 8-bit moons, and he didn't get the 22 in Sand. So he's probably either going for those columns or like column 3 and the diagonal. Yeah, column 3, column 4, and top left to bottom right diagonal is a strong possibility for Oddme.
Yeah, no, I was looking at those ones earlier, and I was thinking with Oddme's moves at the time, those 3 might be likely.
Yeah, because he's going for a lot of stuff like the Captain Toad moons and purchasing moons and captures. So I'd say there's a good chance.
Got Captain Toad and Lake, right?
He got it in Cascade, I think.
Got it in Cascade, got it in Camp. I think he got it in Lake?
I didn't see if he got one in Lake, but yeah,
someone in chat, does someone in chat remember if he got it in Lake?
He could also get, the one in Wooded requires Peace, so he's probably not going for that. But he
might go for the one in Lost.
He could get the one in Lost, the one in Metro, and then there's ones in both Snow and Seaside that are pretty quick. So there's still plenty of Captain Toad moons for him to get. So even if he didn't get the Lake one, he's in pretty good condition there.
Oddme in chat admits to forgetting where the third Wooden Crate moon is. He's looking for the one in Wooded.
Oh boy, so that means he probably is going for that diagonal.
And chat saying that he did get the Captain Toad in Lake.
Okay, so he's at 3 Captain Toads already out of 4. Yeah, there are only 3 Wooden Crate moons in this routing, I believe. Like up through Snow and Seaside Kingdoms. So 3...
I'm trying to think of where the third one would be.
You do have to get all of them for 3. So...
Oh, the Metro outfit door.
Yeah, and if you, if these guys left Clips as banned, you would have to purchase the outfit for 15 regional coins in order to access that room.
Yeah.
So that's an example of how clipping kind of changed the dynamic in Bingo, because there is a clip you can do to get into that room without the outfit.
He's going for 60 regionals.
Yeah, because he's already well past the 25 and he's still collecting regionals. So he's probably doubling up on that, kind of knocking 2 goals out with the same theme, which is always a good play.
Also, Spike realized, I think Spike already has 7 timer challenges. So I think he got 2 in Cascade.
2 in Cascade. 1 or 2 in
I
think he got 2 in Sand.
If he got 2 in Sand, I think he has 7, because I know he also got 1 in Cap and 2 in Lake.
Oh yeah, he might be done with that goal. I don't think he got... Actually, I don't know. Did he get the one in Cap? Or I know one of them went back to Cap. I thought it was odd.
They both did.
But they both did? Okay. So yeah, he might be at 6 or 7 already, which is really good. That's the advantage of getting World Peace in Sand. Otherwise, it's like, if you don't get World Peace in at least 1 kingdom, you have to complete that goal in... You either have to backtrack to Cap or you have to complete it in Seaside. So if you don't get World Peace, Metro's the earliest you can complete a timer challenge, a 7 timer challenge goal.
Okay. Spikes only did 1 in Sand apparently, but there is a pretty easy one you can get if you want to go post Brutal Wooded.
Well, Spike got the timer challenge on top of the Bullet Bill room, right?
Yeah, I think that's the one in Sand he did.
And I know he got the, he was going for the second one in the Moonshard area, and then he died.
Is that one?
But I'm pretty sure he went back for it. Yeah, that one is a timer challenge.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. I saw he died, and it looked like he was going back for it, so I'm pretty sure he got 2 in Sand. Oh, he died twice and gave up on it. Okay, yeah, I didn't see the second death there. So if he only got 1 in Sand, then he's probably just going to finish that goal up in Metro.
No, he can get one right here with the path he's going on. If he goes up here... Oh, he's going up the wall.
If he goes Deep Woods, he can get the one down there. So he might be coming over to get these coins, and then drop into the Deep Woods, collect more coins down there, and get a timer challenge.
Oddme burned himself on Captain Toad's fireplace.
going for a Shard Moon. I don't know how many he's at now. He got the 1 in Sand. He got 2 in Cap. I don't think he got the 1 in Lake.
He did. He got
he did.
shards in the lake.
Okay, so this would be his 5th then?
I think so.
Luckily, dying there, he doesn't have to collect all of those moon shards again. The ones that you collected just remain collected. So just have to clean up that last one, and the moon will appear.
And for the person asking in chat why Otomy didn't mark Jaxie from 2 stands when he has Jaxie from 3 stands, quite simply, I think he just isn't going for that where, for either row 3 or column 5, so he just doesn't care to mark it.
Yeah, sometimes when you come up with a route, you wind up actually completing goals that you don't even need to complete your designated 3 rows. So most people don't bother marking stuff that that don't contribute to their win condition.
Yeah.
So that's probably all that's happening there.
He does have 60 regionals now.
Alright, so Spike gonna grab another Moon Shard Moon here from this Rocket sub area to go with his 60 regionals. A little trouble here capturing it.
Alright, there we go. Yeah, just go up there.
Little things like that can just throw you into the tilt zone. So yeah, assuming we're correct in Otomy going for column 3, column 4 in the top left diagonal, you'll look to see him get 6 checkpoints, probably purchase a moon, and probably get a music note moon in Metro, and also the wooden crate. So Otomy's gonna complete a lot of goals potentially in this kingdom.
Yeah.
And I'd say he might honestly already be at 20 captures, but if not, there are a bunch of captures in Metro.
And he can always just check his capture list. And
yeah, he's probably just unsure, but I would guess that he has 20 by now. If not, he's probably
I lose
close.
track of captures very quickly.
Yeah, it's definitely like the hardest thing to keep track of, I think.
Like, you saw me on Sunday just, like, constantly flicking my capture list open.
Yeah, I tend to over-check it as well, just because I'm
Not
paranoid. I want to make sure I'm on a good pace. I typically don't really check if I'm only going for 20, though, just because I know I normally wind up around there naturally without even going out of my way. So I'd be rounding up some purple coins as he traverses his way through the rainy night metro.
Yep.
So that...
Yeah, he's at 21.
I'm not sure why he's actually getting regionals in Metro. If he...
I know why. If he's actually going for, what's the thing? Top left, bottom right. The third crate he needs is in the outfit moon door.
True, good point. So he needs 15 coins to access that sub-area.
Yeah. And he has 14.
And there's 15. So, assuming he knows that is the correct count, or the correct number of coins he needs, that's all you'll see him collect.
Yep.
So yeah, after this kingdom, all Otomy's gonna have to do is get 30 regional coins on Seaside and then make a backtrack to Cloud Kingdom to complete picture match. I don't know how many music note moons he's had so far, but he can either complete it in Metro, or if he only has 2, he can get 1 in Metro and 1 in Seaside. They're both, you know, pretty quick moves.
Yeah.
I think this, if he only needs to get 1, the Seaside one is probably quicker, since he has to go there anyway for the regional points. And yeah, Spike going for row 1, row 4, column 1, it looks like. Like we thought earlier. So yeah, now that we're in Metro, it's pretty clear what they're going for, just looking at what they've already marked and the partial goals that they've completed. In which case we might see Spike grab Captain Toad in Lost Kingdom. We might see him get the shards, or yeah, because he still needs shard moons.
Yep.
And we might see him collect, I'd say probably in Metro, he'll collect some regionals for the outfit, and just for his 125 total. So yeah, 3 cycle there. Not super consequential in bingo. 3 cycle Wiggler costs you about 20 to 30 seconds, depending on how quickly you clean it up.
Fun. Not a good experience to have. Even in the bingo where it might not be as bad as in an any percent race, that can be pretty close.
Yeah. Oh, and Spike dying, trying to get that moon under the bridge.
Not good. So Omni is now in the Metro.
So it looks like he's gonna come over and get the Nodes moon. Yeah.
Yep.
So
I still need to get around to learning which of these buildings is which.
Yeah,
I
it can be
mess that
confusing
up sometimes.
in Metro. There's a bunch of doors that just lead to sub areas. Knowing which one is which can be pretty helpful.
Like, I always get lost looking for the dinosaur moon.
Yeah, that's the one I always forget about. There's a ton of sub areas in Metro, and that tends to be the one that I forget is there. But I think it's a slower one, so probably a good thing that I forget about it.
It is. It used to be a backup any percent one because it had a lot of coins in it, and old any percent routes got like 5 moons purchased.
Right. Yeah, we kind of realized those moons are pretty slow for the most part.
Yeah, it wasn't like an actual route. It was just kind of like some guy did some day 1 routes for a day 3 race and
right.
got first place in the day 3 race, so is still #1 on SRL. It happens.
So yeah, Admi actually over-collected the regional coins a little bit there. Maybe unsure of how many he needed.
Happens.
But no big deal. He's got his outfit ready to grab that 3rd crate moon. Got a purchased moon. And that completed that goal for him, purchased 6 moons. So he's just...
Personally, I'm gonna say this now, I love seeing alternate costumes in bingos.
Yeah, I do too. That's one of the cool things about bingos. Get to see some costumes that you otherwise never would.
To wear a swimsuit.
So yeah, just a few checkpoints and the wooden crate moon for Oddly in Metro.
And then he just needs to get the quick kick him nice and quick.
Yep. So just coming into this room for fast moons. he does still need 20 moons to leave Metro and head to Seaside.
Does the outfit door in this place count as a sub-area?
It does, yeah.
I just realized how powerful of an outfit moon it is then, because not only does it require 15 regionals and an outfit buy, but it's a sub-area where you can get a wooden crate and a moon shard.
Yeah, this room is pretty good. Having to buy the outfit makes it a bit less useful. Like if you're allowing,
if you need
clips, yeah, if you need regionals, then it's fine. But if you're allowing clips, this room becomes even better because there's a pretty easy clip to get into this room, get out of bounds, and hit the loading zone. But yeah, like I said, this tournament, clips are banned by default just because they vary from version to version. So, doing it the old-fashioned way, buying the outfit, get into the room. Decide that might complete his Moonshard goal. Or no, he already completed the Moonshard goal, so he actually got extra. Did some overtime with that goal. So, just needing 6 more moons to get out of the kingdom. Looks like he needs a few more checkpoints yet, as well. No, Admi's not going for 14 moons in Seaside.
Has his checkpoints.
Yep, there's the 6 checkpoints. So, yeah, just 2 goals left for Admi. Spike is probably going to finish most of the rest of his stuff in Metro, but it looks like he's got a little more work to do because he also has to travel to Snow for regional coins, much like Admi has to go to Seaside. And it looks like he's also doing the picture match, so I think probably safe to say that Admi's in the lead right here.
I think so too.
Assuming he knows where his Seaside regionals are, I think this is his race to lose.
Yeah, thanks for reminding me. I need to practice some of my Seaside regionals.
Yeah, the thing that I like to do with Seaside regionals is there's a lot of regionals right around the shoreline. So I do a sweep with a Cheep Cheep and just kind of run along the edge in the water and pick up all the coins that I see there. And then I hop back up onto land and roll across the land and get all the ones that are actually on the beach. And you can get like upwards of 30, 40 coins doing that. So if you're getting 30 in Seaside, I think it's pretty smart to just stay along the coast of the beach, and you can finish that goal pretty quickly.
I heard the trumpeter in the distance. My band director always talks about practicing the scales, and it looks like the trumpeter's coming down. Admi's leaving Metro.
Yeah, so he's in cleanup mode. I don't know if he'll head to Seaside or Cloud first. I wonder what the optimal decision would be. Probably Seaside.
Probably Seaside because
he doesn't have to collect any moons here, so when he goes to go from Seaside to Cloud, he doesn't have to go through the cutscene of loading moons after the Odyssey.
As long as he doesn't somehow accidentally pick up a moon.
Yeah. So thankfully Admi didn't pick Snow instead of Seaside on accident. That would have been
very bad.
That's always a tragic one. The game defaults you to going to Snow first. You have to
I think if that happened, it wouldn't be too bad to go for Rogue 1 as a backup.
Depending on how many regionals he has, yeah.
I think he is close.
Because there's not a ton of fast ones in Snow.
Yeah, I learned that the hard way in my first race.
Yeah, because a lot of them are in the tunnel room, so that's a lot of loading zones to go through, and they're just generally slow coins to gather.
They can be worth it, though.
But he averted that crisis, thankfully. He's gonna kind of be sweeping the beach, like I said. Lots of purple coins around here. Let's see if he knows where 30 of them are.
I mean, he's playing like he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, he's got the good strategy. Now we'll see if he just knows that there's a bunch underwater as well. And he actually just passed a few. There was some on the beach there that he could have gotten. So he might be coming over here to grab a Gushin or a Cheep, or I don't know what he's doing anymore. Looks like he's going to go for this Cheep and try to search the waters for the rest of his regional points.
Like the 3 right there.
So that's half of them. He needs 15 more. So it looks like he doesn't have the best idea of where to go here, but I think he'll be able to make it work. There are 100 regional coins at Seaside, so finding 30 shouldn't be too crazy of a task.
Yeah, it looks like he has enough of an idea.
Yeah, even if you don't really know, you can just kind of swim around and you'll run into 30 eventually. So there's 28. Just 2 more. Looks like he might have an idea of where 2 might be right near the Odyssey.
Going over to this back area. There's 3.
Yep, so
Alright.
Admi just has to go clear picture match and looks like
We'll be
he's gonna
done.
be able to take this one home. Yep. We'll see if he blesses us with the smiling Goomba.
I don't know. He went back.
So Spike picking up and heading out of Metro. Still got a lot of goals to complete, but it looks like he can just finish them all off in snow outside of that picture match. So he has a lot to finish, but it won't take him too long in Snow Kingdom to clean that stuff up.
Yeah.
So he's really not behind by much. Maybe just
Absolutely.
a few minutes at most. Oh, it looks like he's gonna go back and do picture match now, and then do his cleanup in snow.
It's
Oh,
no, he's
no
going.
smiling Goomba.
He's going Hundo.
Wanted to play it safe, get all the pieces there. You can actually complete that with only using 4 pieces, because you only need 60 points to pass, and you can get 80 possible if you use 4 pieces instead of 5.
He got 85, and is done with 102.46.
Yep. So good job to Admi winning this match. Gonna put him in good position for moving out of the group stage. It's groups of 4 in this tournament, so
I think he might be in a group of only 3 actually, and
yeah,
he won both of his
some
matches.
groups only have 3, just because of how the number of signups panned out.
Yeah, and I think he already won against his previous opponent.
Okay, so yeah, if he's 2-0, then he's
bracket.
he's in. He's gonna move on. Yeah, he tied the any percent world record with that time. Spike cleaning up his picture match, and then he'll head on to Snow Kingdom.
Oh my god, almost failed.
Those eyes were pretty spread apart there.
That is a Goomba.
It is certainly a Goomba. So yeah, I'm pretty sure Spike can just complete everything in Snow Kingdom that he has left, all 5 goals. There is a moon. There's actually 2 Moonshard Moons, I think, in Snow. There's, of course, the regional coins. There's a Captain Toad, and he can purchase outfits there. So you can wrap all of this up quickly here.
I learn about new regionals every day, don't I?
Yeah, it's hard to just remember where all of them are in every kingdom. I think there's 4. How many were behind the Odyssey? Is there 2 or 3?
That was 2 behind the Odyssey there.
So there's 2 there, there's 2 behind the Odyssey, there's 2 on the ground behind the Odyssey, and then there's 4, I think, behind some icicles. So there's 10 like decently quick ones out here, and there's some that I didn't know about, so we're both learning today.
Good for us.
So yeah, you can basically almost complete that 15 all outside, but he'll probably go inside.
We have Odyssey here with us.
Hello.
Hello.
So nice job on the win.
Good job.
Thank you. I did not expect to win, honestly. Me and Spike have done bingos like all week, and he's beaten me on every single one, so I'm a bit worried.
Hey, you won the one that counts.
Say Spike is still better than me at bingo because he's more like a lot faster than me because like I have to focus through cap and I care a lot more about the gameplay and then routing later, whereas he does the routing like as soon as the game starts.
Right.
It evens out.
Yeah, you know, different approaches definitely work for different people. What did you think about this board in general? I tend to think that there wasn't too much in the way of crazy hard goals on
Pretty
this
good, yeah.
There were a lot of directions you could have taken, I think. Which a
I
lot
also-
of boards I look at, and there's kind of only 1 or 2 good options that I find. But yeah,
There wasn't any those that were guarded by an awful goal, which was good.
yeah, we were kind of talking about that, how that happens a lot. But yeah, this board in general just didn't have anything too crazy, so it almost has the problem of being hard to route because it's so easy to route. Like, there's so many good options that you don't know what is the best.
Yeah.
Like, I still, honestly, I haven't, like, put the mental energy into actually trying to route it, but still looking at the sport, I don't know what direction I would take with it.
Yeah, I was
running it.
I was shouting like row 4 a lot early on, but like as it turned later, I was like, this sport's kind of weird.
Yeah, I mean, Spike going for row 4, so he agreed with your sentiment.
Yeah.
Your first urge. And there's 16 coins for Spike.
Yeah.
I don't know how many he needs for the 125. Like, I don't know how many. It looks like he completed it there. So
yeah, he done in the SRL room.
Yeah, so got the 6 shards. So he completed 3 goals all in that one room. That's kind of what
That
I
was
mean with the
amazing.
At the end.
And Spike's here.
And welcome, Spike.
GG, Spike. Oh, is he alive?
He figures out how to speak to us.
My problems always happen, don't worry about it.
Yeah, so only about a 5-minute difference there. I think that's kind of what you can expect from 2 guys who are relatively experienced with the game.
But this was a really good race, and a word that you used in my race on Sunday, and a word I saw phrase I saw Jay had used in chat.
Spike.
This was definitely a closer race than the times led on.
Figures out how to speak to us.
My problems.
Yeah, I was very, very,
so
very
about a 5-minute
worried
difference
as soon as
there.
I finished wooded. I looked back at the
That's
board
kind of what
and
you
I was like,
from
I was confident with all my
2 guys
goals.
who are relatively
And then I look at that bottom right corner.
experienced with the game.
I'm like, crap.
But this
where's
was a
the
really
last
good race,
crate?
and a word that you used in my race on Sunday, and a word I saw
There's a nice cheat sheet
I saw Jay had
telling you where
used in
everything
chat.
relevant to bingo is located.
This was definitely.
I'm an elitist and I don't use cheat sheets for tourney races, so
And I'd have no shame in
that kind of bit me in the butt.
utilizing them, but at this point I tend to know where a lot of the stuff I need is.
I did one all moons run. I know where everything is.
Yeah, I mean, if that does help, especially with regional coins.
In December, but...
I think even if you've like gone through all the kingdoms and collected the regional coins, even like once or twice, it can help a lot for getting those goals in bingo. Because you might not know off the top of your head, but as you walk around the kingdom, you kind of just remember where little pockets of regional coins are.
Regarding the Metro Weighted Crate Moon, I only bought the costume because we didn't decide on clips or not, so I just didn't do the clip, even though it's super easy.
Yeah, they are banned by default, so unless, you know, the two runners specify otherwise and agree on it beforehand.
Much slower, aside from the downtime in the shop. Because the regional coins, like, getting 15 regionals, they're pretty much all in your way.
Right,
especially
like
in day metro.
Yeah, it's not so much collecting the coins that's the issue, it's just 2 load zones from entering and exiting the shop, and just the cutscene from putting on the outfit that more so wastes time. But still not a super slow process, I wouldn't say. But the clips are faster.
I'm happy I'm not happy I didn't get sub 1. Like, I don't know what I could have done better because my gameplay was pretty solid, honestly, aside from like messing around a bit in Wooded and Seaside, but record, so I'm the best.
Well, you know, sometimes the card doesn't really let you get sub 1.
My PB is like a 58-15 or something, so...
I think if you're good enough, you could make sub 1 work on any board, but nobody really plays consistently enough, I don't think, to make that happen on certain boards.
Yeah, I had played like 10 cards the last few days, and that was the worst one I had had. Now, my execution I don't think was great. I had a number of deaths, like 4 or so, like, not great deaths, like between Sand and Lost, but...
Yeah, going for that timer challenge in Sand Kingdom.
God,
I didn't
Say what?
I didn't even watch the restream. I was just listening to the commentary, and they said you died. I was like, where could you have died?
Yeah, that's... I'm like, never died on that timer challenge. It was pretty much I did myself in because I committed to the Sand Kingdom piece purely because I couldn't think of 7 timer challenges.
Yeah, I was kind of talking about that. If you don't get peace in either Sand or Metro, getting 7 timer challenges becomes a really tight goal to go for. Like, you kind of have to pick up all but one of them if you're not going to get peace.
And at that point, I had already committed to, because what I saw on the board, because I automatically, when I come in, I look for synergy. So I saw, all right, 125 total regionals with 15 from Snow, 25 or 35 or whatever from Wooded, and 60. And like, all of those were like in a similar group. So I said, okay. And I overcommitted. And there was that 7 timer challenges in the way.
Yeah.
Which I really didn't need to bring Peace to Sand for anything else. So it was just a lot of time commitment for not much payback.
I mean, you did get the multi-moons from it, but...
You're gonna get... I ended up with 6 multi-moons. So
right, so you could have just gotten the 1 in Sand if that was all you needed it for. But yeah, I mean, I think getting Peace in Sand isn't a terrible play for timer challenges, but I tend to want something else lining up with it. I would say.
I think I justified it a little bit to say, well, I'm already going to do the moon shards for, you know, that gets me a 6. I need to purchase 5 costume sets, so that gets me a lot of coins in Sand to buy 1. And just, if I ever just want a large concentrated amount of coins, I usually want to go through Sand, like pretty far into it, just to get a bunch. But yeah, it was just a lot of time commitment for not quite enough back. It's sort of one of those annoying things, stuff like 7 timer challenges, 7 8-bit moons, 6 moon shards. There's just enough in those numbers to make those kind of crappy goals to go for.
I was always so intimidated by 6 moon shards until I realized, hey, like...
Yeah,
if you're overlapping it with sub areas, I think that's the best situation for 6 moon shards.
I didn't even remember the costume area in Metro had moon shards, so I was like, hey, I could have maybe skipped Lost because I died there.
Yeah, I noticed that you did wind up getting an extra one because I was like, oh, so he's gonna complete the 6 with the Metro one, but oh no, I looked at the board and it's already done. So yeah, you actually overshot the moon shards, which is not something I see very often. I struggle with that goal. I'm like scared of it now because I went for it a few times and they all wound up being really slow boards for me. So I tend to shy away from 6 moon shards unless it's like really calling my name.
I think that's all I have to say. Unless Spike needs to say anything else, I'm probably gonna head out because I have a Sunshine Grand Finals to watch.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go play Tropical Freeze with a bunch of people, so GG on me.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Congrats on beating me in
yeah,
literally every other bingo we did.
I was having... This was the board that definitely just, like, gave me roadblocks in the most spots of the last, like, 10 I've done. So, it is what it is. It's the card you get. So,
yeah.
But you definitely earned it, so you had better routing, so...
And, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. Have fun. Go for it.
Alright, well, I was gonna say, Ani mentioned those Mario Sunshine finals that he wanted to watch. Those are happening right now on Speed Gaming 1. There's no 1 in the name of the channel. I was just gonna plug some of the other races happening right now, if no one else has anything to say. Follow the runners, though. Whee! But yeah, no, those finals are happening on Speed Gaming right now. If you stay here, we're about to have a Wings of V race between Brazlow and Matrick. This game, that Wings of V, I got into it through watching tourney races. That game is crazy. I definitely recommend watching. And then we have randomizers on Speed Gaming 4 and 5, Link to the Past randomizers with Link to the Past Vanilla, no major glitches on Speed Gaming 3. So we've got a few things here tonight.
Thanks for commentating. GG
Later.
Spike again.
Yeah, GG.
No problem. I had a fun time commentating, so I'll see you later.
Me as always, so I guess that's it for us. Enjoy the rest of the races tonight.
See ya.